Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to crochet this cute little bee. So there are two types. There is the rainbow bee with the little pinky cheeks and the classic bee. You're going to start with a magic ring or a slip knot. For me, I do it like that. So I do a slip knot, then I chain 2, and then I'm going to make 6 single crochet in the first chain I made. Here are my first 6 single crochets. I'm going to close the little hole by pulling kind of gently on that string here. Now we're moving on to row 2. We're going to make 6 increases, so 1 increase in each stitch. 1 increase is just 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. Like so. I'm going to put a stitch marker in the first stitch we made. Now you should have a total of 12 single crochets on that row. Next, we're going to do a repeat of 1 single crochet, 1 increase 6 times. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 increase in the next. And I'm going to place a stitch marker at the beginning of the row again. And we repeat these 6 times. 1 single crochet, 1 increase. You should have a total of 18 stitches on that row, and moving on to the 4th row, we're going to do 2 single crochets and 1 increase. So here are the 2 single crochets, and in the next stitch 1 increase. The next row is going to be just 1 row of single crochets. We're going to do 24 single crochets. So now we're going to start working with the colors. So you can just put your yarn there and attach your new yarn. So how do you attach your yarn? I remove the last bit of the last stitch. There are 2 loops here, like so, and I'm going to take my new yarn and finish the stitch with it. Then you can take your 2 ends and tie a knot. And then you're going to do 1 row of single crochets. On your last stitch, you're going to change tie a knot with the previous string and cut your yarn, your previous yarn. If you want to do the regular bee, you can make 2 rows with black yarn. And we're going to do 1 more row with the orange here. This row is going to be 24 single crochets. Here is row 7 done. Basically now, if you want to make the normal bee, you should go back to the yellow yarn and make 2 rows of yellow. And then after the 2 rows, you're going to change your yarn again for the black one and make 2 rows of black. For the rainbow bee, over the next 4 rounds, we're going to change color every time. So let's just take a new color. So here is the rainbow bee. If you're doing this classic bee, you're going to change back to yellow here. You're going to change back to yellow now, and you can cut your black yarn for good. We're not gonna use it anymore. Now what I usually do is I put the eyes. So usually there is this gap here between the rows on like the place where you changed colors. So I usually like to say that this is the bottom of the bee. So here is the top, and I usually place them kind of however I want. It just needs to feel symmetrical. Right here I place them between rows 3 and 4, and yeah. So now that we have 2 rows, we're gonna do 1 row of 2 single crochet, 1 decrease. So how do we do that? 2 single crochets. Now I'm going to place the stitch marker and 1 decrease to make invisible decreases. When like working with this type of yarn, you're just going to insert your hook not through like that, like you usually do through both loops, let's say. You're going to insert your hook in between the two. So you have the front loop here. Basically that's called like working on the front loop. And you can also work on the back loop, but for decrease, you're going to work here on the front loop. So you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. You're not going to finish a single crochet like usual. You're going to go to the next stitch and go in the front loop again, yarn over, pull up a loop. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook. Then you yarn over and you pull through all 3 loops. And there you have an invisible decrease. And you start again, so 2 single crochets, 1 decrease. At that point, I usually like to fill the bee. So the next row, we're going to make 1 single crochet and 1 decrease. 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, so now these are the final steps. I usually like to make 2 or 3 decreases and then cut my yarn. So I'm going to show you how I close this hole. So like I said, just make 2 or 3 decreases. I'm going to make 3 And here you're going to pull on the yarn and cut. You're going to want to have a bit of string here. I'm going to add just a little bit of filling in this hole, and then I'm going to take my tapestry needle, and to close the hole, what I like to do is go through each of these stitches only on the front loop, not on the two loops like so, on the front loop. And once I go through a few, I just pull a bit. Once I've gone through all, can just pull gently and close. Be very careful not to break the yarn here. You want to be very gentle, and then to kind of invisibly hide the yarn, I just do a few. Stuff like that. Then you can take your scissors and cut the yarn. Now for the wings. You're gonna take your white yarn and start with a magic ring or a slip knot, or however you like to do. And you're gonna make 6 single crochets. Single crochets in the magic ring and pull gently. Next round we're gonna make 2 increases in each stitch. And on the final row we're gonna make one single crochet, 1 increase, times 6. So there is a total of 18 single crochets. So now for the last stitch we're gonna do a slip stitch and cut the yarn, and you should leave a long tail. So here is wing 1. I'm just going to hide that little bit here. To do so you can just take a tapestry needle and go through a few these. And I usually like to finish right where the tail is. That way we can hide that little tail in the body. Now you should make a second wing. Now, final step, we're going to sew the wings and the back of the little bee. So I usually like to leave 2 stitches in between the wings, but that's just a personal preference. You can leave more space between the wings, less space if you want to. So you can just take the long string and just like go and, well, depending on where you position the eyes, you can just try and see where to put the wings. So I guess just going to do it one here and one here. I don't want to have that string in the middle of my stuff, so I'm just going to put it inside of the bee. You can do that with your tapestry needle or just with your hook like this, and it's quite easy. And then we're just going to sew . That is not a mandatory step, but I usually like to pull the strings on the same hole and do a little knot. But again, that's not mandatory. Then I just grab it and pull them down a bit. And here, that's hidden. And your bee is basically finished. You can add a little V mouse or even a few cheeks, and that's what I'm gonna do for this one. I'm just gonna take a light pink and make a cute little cheek. Be careful to leave a bit of a tail here. And once again, tie a knot. And here you go. 2 cute little bees. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing or giving this video a like. It really helps. And I thank you again, and I hope to see you in my next tutorial. Have a great day. Bye.